God, that's really gonna bother me just all the time now.
What?
What?
What's gonna
Okay,
bother you?
so opera, right? Before, when I had an opera tab open, I felt like it was just on my taskbar, just there. Now, when opera's open, there's a red box around the opera icon on my taskbar. This actively bothers me because I don't think it was like this, and it makes me think there is something like that I need to like clear off as a notification in Opera.
That I think that is what Opera's trying to tell you, but I couldn't tell
But
you
what could it
where
be?
that would be like hiding.
What could it possibly want from me? I couldn't even begin to try to tell you.
For GXP, like, fetch me their souls.
Trust me, when I play D&D, it gets plenty of those. It fucking wants to kill my computer.
The 78 tabs you have open?
Yeah. I don't... It's also probably... It's the mixture, almost certainly, of Opera and Roll20 that's doing it. My computer does not live if I don't have hardware acceleration on for it. And then it gets worse if I do. And it gets only a little better if I do. Welcome, everybody. We're here. We're live.
Hello.
It's
Really long time no see, right?
Yeah, I know.
Right?
This might be one of the quickest turnarounds. What? It's close. It's up there.
Podcast.
Literally, there's quite literally not that much we can physically talk about.
I kicked Austin out. As you can see, no longer here.
Yeah, I'm homeless now.
I knew-
Actually, I'm at my parents' place.
I knew this. John gave me the sneak peek. He gave me a preview of this. It was to come. Yeah, last week, last podcast, you told me.
True.
Yeah, but that's for me, and no one else. So I guess I'll real quick. I'll do this news roundup. That I have been giving throughout, or group chat. Because of
It's been going crazy.
Jump Fiesta. So Donadon, Dress Up Darling, Skip and Loafer, Bye Bye Earth, Maggie Lumiere. Hold on. Hell's Paradise. Hold on. Kaiju number 8 have all been confirmed for their season 2s. So let's run through those respectfully for what matters that we know. Donadon and Bye Bye Earth and Dress Up Darling are all this year. Did we get confirmation that Donadon was July? I feel like in the back of my head that's right. Hold on.
It seems...
We might not know yet. I don't think we know yet.
reasonable.
Nope, July. Yep. And Crunchyroll is picking it up again. I would be surprised if they didn't. So we don't have dates for the other ones yet for those. Outside of the fact that, like I said, Bye Bye or Dress Up Darling are both this year as well. Of that first batch. That's Hell's Paradise we know is going to be January of 2026. Because I guess Mappa doesn't care about it as much as everything else. They're fucking pushing out content for shit that came out before it. Or came out after it. But hey, I mean, maybe they're just really cooking Hell's Paradise. And then Kaiju is coming out in July. Additional things that aren't season 2s are that Spy Family season 3 is happening in October of next year, 2025. My Hero's final season is fall 2025. We are getting a Vigilantes anime in April of 2025. Oh, cool. I did typo that. Very funny. I can't tell you how many times I accidentally added an extra number to the years when I was typing this out to you guys that I deleted. I did not fix that for Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man Rize arc. The movie has a trailer. I don't think we have exact details yet. But a trailer's good. You know. In addition to that, Witch Watch is going to be 2 cours when it comes out this year. And then, perhaps the most interesting thing of this is that Jujutsu Kaisen in the final physical volume when it comes out is getting a new 16-page epilogue. Now the epilogue is going to be it's going to be 4 epilogues in one is how this has been worded, and each one's going to focus on a character, and we have the 4 characters. They are in order of which you know them for sure when you hear their names: Nobara, Panda, Uraume, and Yuko Ozawa. Since I didn't tell you guys, did any of you look her up to know who Yuko Ozawa was?
Is Yuko Ozawa the idol that Toto likes?
No.
Oh, good guess though. I feel like that's a very powerful guess.
I had a gut idea of who this was.
I have no idea.
I have no clue.
So before Shibuya happens, there is a conversation in a diner with Nobara, Megumin, Yuji, and the girl who likes Yuji from his middle school. It is gonna follow her. I think this might be the most base choice out of these 4 characters. This is wonderful.
I love that girl. She was great.
I was very disappointed that she didn't show up for the entire rest of the manga, so it makes sense. All of these characters make sense because you're gonna get some perspective on other characters from them. Nobara is maybe the craziest one. It feels weird that you get one of the main characters, but I guess, I mean, who knows? We'll see what they do with that. But yeah, so that's that. A couple of things that I didn't send you guys because I didn't think they were as relevant. The Incarnated Aristocrat is getting a 3rd season. MF Ghost is also getting a 3rd season. That shit ain't gonna stop. Kawaii Slime, which I think came out this season, is getting a 2nd season. Confirmation on that. The One Piece anime is returning on April 6th.
New Frankie voice actor.
Yep. Mission Yozakura Family is getting a 2nd season in 2026. Did you know that World Trigger has 5 stage plays? And by that I mean it's going to have its 5th stage play next year?
Good for it.
That's crazy.
The manga's been running forever.
Yes. Oh, yeah, it has like 5 seasons of anime or some shit. So I'm not surprised.
It doesn't have more.
Yeah, it's just crazy to think. I'm just double checking. We know the new theme song artist for Blue Box next season.
Oh yeah, I did see that on the Wikipedia.
Yep, the new opening is gonna be by Macaroni Inpatsu.
I remember them being very good, but I don't remember like actually any of their songs that I've ever listened to before.
They did the theme song and ED for Dragon Quest: The Adventure of Dai. They did the ED for Oblivion Battery, and they did the probably the thing you know them for maybe is the OP for Summertime Render, the first one.
Yeah.
No, it was more when I used to be like someone who fiended like music, like
yeah, you might actually know them
music
as, like from
charts?
a music. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, like music charts, and then like I would just go down and just like listen to like the top 25 on the Japanese chart, and then just move on, so.
Yeah. I'm just trying to double check anything else real quick. Okay, we do know Chainsaw Man movie is 2025. Aharen also 2nd season in April. It is Time for Torture Princess also 2nd season. We're just gonna do the real quick, double check anything else. Rama 1/2 is also the new version of it's also getting getting a second season to nobody's surprise. Did you guys hear who's doing Solo Leveling Season 2's ED?
Nope.
No.
Want to guess?
I don't follow shit.
Fucking Justin Bieber. I don't know.
No. This is like an
Okay,
actual
yes.
anime artist. This one isn't like
Oh,
breaking.
darn.
This one isn't like Zed. Don't worry.
Kenshi Yonezu.
Nope.
I don't know.
That's right, baby. It's TK.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay.
Link touched it. Shigeru. Oh my goodness.
that was not what I was expecting.
Yeah, I'm very interested to hear what that's gonna be like. We're also getting a Gintama spinoff. There's a Hell's Paradise survival RPG for smartphones is coming to PC in 2025. Just because I see that here, interesting. Also, Michael, that 1 hour special for Undead Unluck is gonna be an original story,
Interesting.
which makes you ask, what are we doing here?
Wait, why?
Also, Roboco is getting a movie. They're doing a film for Roboco, which is interesting. I'm not familiar enough with Roboco to know if that fits it better than an anime. But it is very interesting. Also, there is a Moriori the Patriot musical, which, I mean, if you had to ask me if I thought a musical fit that show, I would say yes. Actually, no, that makes a lot of sense.
Fair.
I think the last thing here that I particularly care. Oh, I guess I don't care about it, but I guess I should say 'cause it is kind of like an important thing to some people. 2.5D Seduction is getting a second season, I believe. That's a big enough manga that I guess that actually matters to cover. And then actual last one, because I care about it. You need to know the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX anime is getting a 20th anniversary remaster.
I saw that.
You.
That is very sick.
Lots of questions on what exactly that's gonna entail, and are they going to remove certain things? Are very interesting. Are they remastering it as in they're remastering the Japanese version as in all 4 seasons, or are they remastering it as in they're gonna remaster it like the dub and they're gonna just do the 3 seasons that we got? Other interesting question is, will Air Neros just disappear? Will it be? Will it exist? Because that card's not real anymore. I don't remember the exact. I don't know the full story. Off the top of my head why that is, but it's very funny. Other than that, I unfortunately did not have a lot of time today, to read up on the new Shonen Jump drops. Outside of the fact that I did read One Piece. I read One Piece. I read Ultimate Exorcist. And then I also read Ichi the Witch. If you've not read Ichi the Witch, by the way,
It's going crazy.
oh my fucking god, the art in this chapter is sure, man, you're on chapter 16?
Like 16?
16?
Yeah.
16? That shit insane. Absolutely hog wild. Very interesting things happening in One Piece, and I'm not referring to the hot giant they dropped on us. The second one. The second one? I did read the Centuria chapter today. I don't think I have. Again, I did not really read too much. I started 2 new things, because of course I did. I checked out the first couple of chapters of Rugby Rumble. It seems fine. There's some pretty art in there. Notoriously, Rugby Rumble was under flack when it first came out because the lettering company they used was an AI lettering company, but they've since changed that. So, like, the entire comment section on Manga Plus is like, AI lettering looks terrible, and I'm like, what? And I looked at the comparison shots. I'm like, oh yeah, that did look dog shit. I wouldn't have. I don't know now because they don't have the dog shit AI lettering down anymore. They redid it. I also started reading Kubo. I've read like 11 or 12 chapters of Kubo. This manga's dangerous.
It's adorable.
In particular,
Very cute.
Kubo's very dangerous. This girl. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I understand.
Very good.
Isn't that one that was like an anime not too long ago?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was animated the same season that Tomotron got animated.
That's
believe.
right, that was the big one that season.
That seems very good. I don't think I have anything else off
Yeah.
the top of my head. I think that's everything for me.
Oh, let's see.
Oh, Hope You're Happy
I can
Living
hop
had
off of that.
a great chapter.
good.
Progress. They-
I did catch up on that
Uphill
entirely.
uphill battle right now. Well, Austin, how did you like catching up on that manga and going, wow, that's a look, a character. Oh look, character art. Oh look, character art. Oh look, character art. Oh look, character art.
Right? Yeah.
There's so many of it.
The thing that the thing that was throwing me off too, because I was like, oh, I gotta scroll one page and then hit the next chapter again. Thanks, cool. And then I was also not expecting. I was like, looking at the length of it when I was starting, I was like, oh, 48 chapters. That's not gonna be like that long. And I looked at like the length of the first chapter, and I was like, huh? That's a lot longer than I'm used to seeing. So, okay. Guess I'm in it for the long haul, and then it took me only like 2 or 3 days anyway.
Yeah, no, it's a quick catch up. They're adorable. Michael, go ahead. You had things you were gonna do.
So you were mentioning manga. So like caught up on Undead Unluck, Hema 10, and Blue Box. Undead Unluck is stupid. That's the best way to explain what the fuck's happening. It's stupid. Hema 10's great. Hema 10's always great. It's wonderful. I cannot wait for you guys to start reading Blue Box and witness this current arc. Because it's a very fun term I can use
Same.
for this arc, but I don't want to use it because I think it's a really funny thing to say for you to get to completely blind the current arc of Blue Box. Oh but yeah, Blue Box great.
Indeed.
Played some Fortnite last night.
I
This
just-
season's whack.
This season is, as someone who played it last week, before last podcast, season's fucking whack.
I don't like it. It's too whack.
You don't like mini bosses?
I mean,
I don't.
I didn't play a ton of it, but it feels significantly more like a video game than the Marvel season did. The Marvel season was actual just nonsense for the first half of it.
I have no
I
idea.
know, but I enjoyed the nonsense.
I have no idea how this season feels in a solo game, because
Oh, it feels terrible in solo.
Because-
Not great, my guy. Not fucking great.
because I can tell you something about playing in a squad. That sword sure certainly does melt people, but also results in your HP getting melted equally as much because you have run into 3 other people's gunfire while you knock a person down with it.
Yeah.
I think I like this season so far. I haven't played a lot of it yet. I only did a couple of games, I think twice. So
I also didn't play many.
aesthetically, I think this season rules. I think a lot
Yeah.
of it's cool. When we squatting up to play the actual
Oh.
shooter mode, it's not I'm not playing ballistic.
I mean, I'll squat up if the gang's all here.
If we exist,
I don't want to play. I don't want to play Valorant in Fortnite. I'm good.
What do you mean?
That's what it is. I've seen it.
I know, but why don't you want to play Valorant in Fort?
Because I don't want to play Valorant. Almost like
Okay.
it's almost like tactical shooters are not the type of shooter I play. Despite me owning CS:GO, ignore that. That wasn't my choice.
This sounds about right.
I've never booted it. Not me personally.
I mean, I didn't buy CS:GO. I got a friend to buy it for me. I played it once and went, yeah, actually, I don't find this fun.
Yep. I'll play it like every 3 years.
I got a random message from someone I played with like 8 years ago who's trying to sell me crypto.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, the joke was
Yeah,
that
that does make
said
sense.
friend was like, "Why are you playing at Team Fortress 2?" I was like, "Cause I don't." This was like right when I started college. I was like, "I don't have the money to buy a game right now, nor do I particularly feel like it." I'm having a lot of fun in TF2. He's like, "I'm like, if you buy me CS:GO, 15 minutes later I own CS:GO." Yeah, no,
We
I
love it.
wasn't a fan of it. But also yesterday, I finally actually sat down and pushed through the current story of Zenless Zone Zero. It came out like a week ago, so like not like a finally like some of these last ones have been. The 1.4 story is fucking phenomenal. This game, legitimately worth playing if you just blitz through the story for like the 20 hours of it that exists and then don't touch it again. Like so much of because all of the actual main story stuff can be done entirely with trial characters. Especially the current story is only trial because they don't let you bring your own characters in, so they could balance out the fights to make them actually challenging. Like vaguely, they're still not that difficult because Miyabi makes every other deep. Miyabi came out. She took the entire DPS tier list and went, "Oh, these are tier zeros, these are tier ones," and bumped everyone down a tier because she needed her own tier. She kicked Ellen from tier 0.5 to tier 2, essentially.
We love
Miyabi is
Fortress.
fucking stupid. She's fun. That's what happens when you add Virgil to a video game.
It's fun, but it's because she's stupid. Yeah, League of
Fucking
Legends did that too.
bonkers.
Thanks, Samira.
Yeah. But Zenless is fucking. So 1.4's big thing is it's essentially the Infinity War of the story up to this point. All of your groups you've worked with are now coming together to solve your big current problem. So like, he's fucking awesome. Good video
Infinity
game.
War.
Yeah, it's what it is.
Hey, I like. Hey, I'm not hating on it. If it's a good game, it's a good game. I played Xenoblade too. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I also purchased a lot of games. Steam Winter Sale happened.
Well, don't remind me. I don't need to go look at that right now.
I don't need to look at it either.
It doesn't
I looked at
exist.
it and went, "Ooh,
Yeah,
I'm
I
broke."
definitely don't own Kingdom Hearts 2, 1, that whole thing again.
Twice.
Did someone say owning Kingdom Hearts multiple times?
Well, so I owned 1.5, 2.5 on Epic and went an Integra
Oh.
Masterpiece.
That's much more reasonable. You own them on Epic.
Yeah,
That makes sense
I
to
mean-
rebuy them.
yeah,
I own this
yeah,
shit on
it-
on my PS5. I don't need to buy it again.
yeah. Yeah, an Integra Masterpiece essentially saves you an entire game if you buy it as the bundle. So essentially, I bought 3 and 2.8, which 2.8 is
Yeah.
barely a game, but like it's a game. It has Dream Drop in it, I think. That's the only actual game in that collection.
And that's important.
I think so.
Otherwise you have to struggle to play that game.
Yeah.
Hey, Michael, did you want to play Kingdom Hearts 2, or Kingdom Hearts 1 Final Mix in Japanese on the PS2? No, how about in English? It's somewhere in that bucket. What about maybe you just want to play Kingdom Hearts 1.1 and 2 on the PS4? I have that too. I have the PS3 version. It's also in one of those containers over there. And also, we own the story so far. This isn't even mine. This is Amber's. She just happened to own it as well. So now I added one
She
more to the
hasn't even
collection.
played Kingdom Hearts.
No!
Yeah, but
I know,
do
she
you-
has the collection of all the fucking games!
Yeah, but do you own a physical copy of
I'm working on it here,
Do you own a
man.
physical copy of Recoded?
I don't own Recoded because I don't believe that game exists.
I got it somewhere.
There's 3 copies of Cage 3 over
Just
there.
like I have a
There's
physical
there's
copy of Chain of
Melody
Memories.
that's still over there.
I
I do
also-
own a physical copy of 2 for the PS2.
I also have them both
Yeah, I
on
also
Epic.
have
I also have
that.
1.5, 2.5 on Epic Games, so I can play it on the PC, which is modded as well. And so it's just, I have a couple copies of the game. It's pretty good. You should play
John,
this
what-
game.
When we doing the rando run back,
Never.
but just you and I, we can just
Don't
race
my
it.
brain. I don't know, whatever. I can dust off the old shelf of top 8 rando player.
Top 8 rando player.
I used to be good at rando. It was fun.
Yeah. Time.
Me and Spoon were sleepers in the first ever rando tournament.
What else are
No
people
one
doing?
Realized it was good. Me and Austin played probably the most complicated board game I've ever seen in Ark Nova. Great time. Hurt my brain. You're basically build a zoo. You're basically playing like Zoo Tycoon, but like with a board game.
And there's like 80 different resources. Not actually, but like there's so
Mhm.
much to keep track
Oh
of,
my-
and
Oh my
it,
god, this image.
You know how like Wingspan has like 3 different types of birds you can play, right? Imagine that, but with like 5 different types of animals, and you have to have certain cost requirements to play the animals, but you also have to have the resources to play the animals on top of the cost requirements to play the animals. Um,
That looks like hell.
it was great.
My
The game
lord.
was awesome.
That looks like fucking hell. Why would you ever play this game?
It was
it's a
great.
great
It was a
game.
great
It's
game. And like how the game works is, you see how there's like the little ticket trackers, and then there's the green like ones above them. One token moves this way, one token moves this way, and once they cross each other, that's when the game ends. And if you don't cross your tokens at the end of the game, you just lose. To whoever did it by the biggest gap. Amber won because she had an incredible engine early on. I got bricked early, and Austin got bricked in the mid game, and Amber just got to keep playing cards because she had like predator cards, which let you draw more predator cards, which let you, get more. And she got like a card that gave her just like a flat, large amount of income to start the fucking game.
John, this is a
Um,
safe space. I have a question for you. And you can
Yeah.
answer this as quietly as you need to.
Oh, she's not home right now.
Oh,
Yeah, I was
perfect.
tilted.
Never mind. Do you ever in a board game have to take it a little easy because you're worried about what will happen if you don't?
Oh no! Don't be silly. In this house, it was established early on when I had her over at my parents' house and we were playing like euchre at home. You play to win in this household. Like this is not
No,
not
no,
kids
no,
card game. You're
I
playing to
get
win the
that.
game.
But do you personally, despite knowing that's the case,
Oh,
Okay,
absolutely not.
No.
I'm already the cold one. In
No,
bed and I can't
there's
get any
no way.
colder. I don't give a shit.
because I happened to live in a dorm for a while and played a lot of board games with couples, and and watched as I felt like I was going to get stabbed with a knife accidentally because people were doing things. Michael.
in my stay at their house, Amber threatened to kick John out of the bed and into my room 3 times and never followed up on it. So
Yeah, no, the issue she reneges on it every time. She goes, "Ah, shit, he'd like that. Damn it." But
Based.
my logic is I'm the one who's always cold, so in the end, I would be the one. I wouldn't be the loser here. Like, listen, like I'm gonna get my furnace either way, even if I have to sleep farther away in the bed. So, but no, I do not take it easy for fear of wrath of Amber. If she wants me to go easy on her, she can just play better. That can be on record. I don't care.
skill issue.
She knows it. Skill issue. But other than that, Amber kicked our ass in the game. It was good. We played a game of Calico before we went to a family Christmas party. Which I do believe Amber did not win, actually. Oh yeah, I won that one. Hence the Master Quilter being on my desk right now. Yes, we passed it back and forward. Yes, Austin has played with us. Yes, we were worried a little bit that he'd win and then he'd get to take it back home to Cincinnati because we wouldn't have it anymore.
Just
Thankfully, Austin,
photocopy it.
0 for 2. 0 for 2 on games that rely on him to not win, or else they
0
go
for
to
3.
Cincinnati with him. Is it 0 for 3?
Yeah, because we played twice, like in the last month, and then we played it the first time I got the game. I gave the game to
Yes,
Amber.
but we didn't like pass the Master Quilter button back then. 0 for 2 since we had stakes. Is how I
I'm
look
pretty
at
sure
it.
we would have, but whatever.
We probably would have, but either way, good game. Calico's really easy to pick up, really fun to play. If you haven't played it, go find someone that owns it. It's a good game. Play it. That's my soapbox. But it was fun having Austin over. Played some games. Played a little Pokemon tournament yesterday for like 4 rounds. Had like an insane round 3 or round 2
Ew.
where we had what is called sudden death because we had like 3 or 4 disconnects to start. Like the first disconnect was like on turn 2, it was in his favor, and then it disconnected, and I'm like, well, that sucks. I hate when that happens, but it is what it is. Part of the game, unfortunately. Thank you, Nintendo. Game 2 was definitely in my favor, and it disconnected. It's like, okay, well, that sucks again. And then game 3 we disconnected on turn 1 again, and it's like, okay, what do we do? So we call the judge. Judge is like, hey, just play out 2 games. If you go 1-1, it's sudden death for game 3. And how sudden death works in Pokemon is at the end of a turn, if someone is in a advantage state, aka has 1 Pokemon than you, 3 to 4, 2 to 3, etc., the game is over. We played a 7-game Pokemon 7-turn game, which in doubles is a long time. Where neither of us had an advantage until like the 7th turn because we both kept pivoting really well. But in the end, I did manage to clutch through and win that, which was fun. I only went like 2-2 before I had to go for holiday party, but it was fun to play Pokemon again, at least like semi-competitively. Well, Austin played Slay the Spire on my computer, and someone helped.
So it was Austin booting up Slay the Spire earlier.
Define earlier.
Yeah, totally.
Never mind. I
Define
thought about
earlier,
it.
Like...
Never mind. Because I thought about it. I thought about what I just said.
No, that's okay. But yeah, Slay the Spire is good. Play that game too. Fun game. I'm watching too much Northern Alliance, so I've started playing like Slay the Spire and Belultra again.
Austin, do you have
My
anything
past
else?
few days is mostly the same as John's. Today I
Wow,
literally did
crazy.
nothing except watch today's episodes.
Sounds alright.
And football. Can't forget
And the
about
Lions
football.
won. Let's go Lions. 13
Let's
and
go
2.
Lions.
And the Vikings won too. They can go eat a dick. But the Eagles lost, and that was Pog. Thank you, Jaden Daniels.
Excuse me. So, I've been kind of busy the past week.
Yeah.
So, I worked all week. I worked at a different store on Friday and helped with inventory. That was fun. And then also on Friday, I went to a concert that was basically a mini festival. So there's a band called Hot Mulligan, and they're a pop punk band. And
Oh,
they did.
I've heard some of their songs.
I
pretty
love
good.
Hot Mulligan. They're fantastic. And they do a Christmas concert every year called Ho Ho Hot Mulligan. And this year, hold on, I'm gonna quick pull up the list just because it's funny. So the list of people that were playing there at this concert were Hot Mulligan, Tiger's Jaw, Fireworks, You Blew It, One Step Closer, Riley, Harrison Gordon, If Kansas Had Tree, Stars Hollow, Bad Luck, Tiny Voices, Potion Seller, Church Bus. There were 15 bands at this concert. And how it worked was there were the venue has 3 different stages. There's one, like the main stage when you walk in, it's right at the back. There's one right when you walk in, and then there's one downstairs. And they were all playing all at the same time. Great.
It's just like my
and then-
anime.
What?
It's just like in
Oh.
my anime.
But yeah, it was a great time. A lot of bands that I haven't seen before that wanted to, and a lot of bands that I had never heard of that were fantastic. But it was great because doors opened at 5 and the show started at 6. We didn't get home until 12:30 because all of those bands played, and then Hot Mulligan played and proceeded to play for an hour and 45 minutes. Because
Base as fuck.
it was bass. The sound guy had to cut them off. It was really cool. And then I had a funeral that I went to yesterday. And today I've just been watching shows for podcast and playing Mortal Kombat. We decided to try to play
one?
through the story.
Which one?
One.
Which one?
One.
Which one?
Shut the fuck up, Sean.
There's only one of them has the word one actually in the name.
Yeah, only one has one. But yeah, we started playing the newest Mortal Kombat. How about that, Sean?
Thank you.
Uh,
That's very helpful.
and we started doing the story mode, but we did it on hard. And whoo boy, I'm better at Mortal Kombat now. I'll tell you that. But fuck, that game is hard on hard. It does not pull any punches. It will infinite you. It's really bad. But yeah, my week's been pretty solid. I need to catch up on mangas. I think I only read the One Piece chapter this week. But I'm probably gonna catch up on all my other stuff tonight after podcast and
Maybe during
all that
podcast.
stuff. Maybe during podcast.
You
It
never
happens
know.
pretty often.
But you've read each chapter too.
I did not read this week's Ichi chapter. I read it
Oh.
last week. I need to.
Hold on.
But Ichi's been fucking crazy.
Hold on.
Ichi-
I need to get a point across then.
Okay.
Let me decide which one of the fucking insane ad. You know what? Yeah, let's just do page 3 of it. Let's just do page 3. Page 3 is a good page. This is the idea. This is the gist of what this manga decides to do art-wise this week. Viewers, you can just go look at page 3 of chapter 16 of Ichi the Witch to know exactly what I'm talking about. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that art, dude?
Ichi's going crazy. It's kind of wild how much of a pivot that manga has had in the past like week.
I have a small gripe with the past 2 chapters of Ichi. That is that I thought there was a translation error. And it's just because this manga has chosen to use a word in a way that does make sense, but I've never heard it used like that, so my brain thinks it's making a mistake. So the current enemy, has something to do with like time and death, is the understanding we have even as of like last week's chapter. So when the report comes in about what is going to happen and what this magic has done before, they say things have been warped. So they say an entire village was warped out. Now now my brain's like, you meant wiped. It's been wiped out. And I'm like, or do you mean it warps it out of it? No, you mean warp as in like disfigure, as in like decay. That's a really fucking odd turn of phrase to hear when I've never heard someone say something has been warped, like, in that context. Like, talking about a large collection of things being warped and being like, yeah, they were warped out. What the fuck does that mean? It's just really weird to my brain. I'm not used to it. Small thing quick before we start. I watched Blue Box, not on Netflix. You know what that means. So
I watched it on Netflix.
So I need to share this screenshot from this week's. This is not the screenshot for the show this week. I have a feeling this wasn't in the Netflix version.
No.
No. That's really good though.
was not expecting JJK in my Blue Box this week. And I got a lot of Shonen Jump things in my Blue Box this week. Oh, that reminds me, real quick, shoutouts to the Kubo chapter that talks about Funter Funter. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. We love it. Are we ready to dig in, boys?
Yeah.
That's right. We are an anime podcast, and from here on out, there's gonna be, because there wasn't before, harsh language and spoilers. And with that in mind, it's time once again for the power ranking. Every time. To probably no one's surprise, once again.
Okay. I was very confused for a second.
Pretty interesting in terms of top 3 opinions in relation to this week's episode. We're gonna have a lot of conversation about individual shows. I'm excited for that. Let's get into it. Starting right away. John. You're muted.
John, you're muted.
Let's try again. John.
That one. Okay. See, I was confused because my light was still on, and so I got confused. But so Dandadan this week was certainly a Dandadan episode, in the most Dandadan way. So in the middle of this combat with the aliens and the Nessie, we have the aliens bringing in their definitely not Little Mac, also alien, who's just a like hired intern basically to help them win this fight. And so Momo appears to help out Ira and Okarun by using her psychic powers to repel their psychic powers, so Okarun and Ira can fight. Except every time they talk and do stuff, she loses concentration, and so they get right back down, and they go, no, no, we need your help again.
It's not.
And
It's not just. That's not what fucks her up. What fucks her up is that she says Okarun's full name, and then he says a quote that the movie actor says again. And so those are both of the moments that fucking knock her out of concentration.
on top of that, Okarun also naked during this whole period because he lost his clothes previously. And that's also a bit. One of the other bits too is the fact that they're basically like he's fast enough to recognize the Little Max movements. And Acrobatic Silky obviously has like the offensive power that is more direct towards it. However, in this episode, Ira kind of gets fucking bodied a lot. She takes a lot of blows in and out of Acrobatic Silky form.
Yeah, it's her first fight. She has to get some hits in.
And so she gets like decked into the roof. She gets sent down. Eventually, a bunch of water appears because Nessie shows up. Nessie's ability, turns out, is that it basically sucks up a bunch of water and then uses the big laser. So it's a charge period. We also learned that the boxing alien, as I call him, he basically punches are much stronger underwater because he's like a mantis shrimp who can fight really well underwater, but not as great on land. However, he can't breathe forever underwater, so he has to keep coming up for air, which is part of the bit as well. So we have Okarun and Momo basically running away while they're trying to save Ira, who got punched into the upwards water, but not the downwards water in the classrooms. The upwards water. Don't be confused. Very different water. Finally, her idea is just to grab him and like help steer him as he just runs in a direction. They end up rescuing Ira up top, and then we have is it like Cerosapien, I think is like their, or Seropians. Fine, I'll do this myself, and then combines with Nessie and the boxing guy to make this giant amalgamation alien, who's like, I got this, easy. Which I think their solution was that she basically like blows away the water to cause a lot of compression and blow off the combined form's arms at close range.
So it basically, because of the water, when it's punching, it uses it as drag to not rip its own arms off. So when she removes the water, it's punching too fast.
Yep. And then basically they create a runway for Okarun using Acrobatic Silky's hair for him to run on and just blow up the big amalgamation monster. However, after being transported back to the real world, they're still naked and half naked. And you know, a funny scene of all three of them running away in like the half nude in the school, as everyone's kind of confused and going, like, why are they nude in the hallway hugging each other? Which thankfully they said hugging each other and not other things.
What do you mean? Momo actively goes, "Thank God for this floor. It's so hard." Surely there were no misconstrued thoughts of what
no
happened.
miscommunication whatsoever.
I describe this as like, this is like the most Dandadan I think we've had so far in Dandadan, and this is from someone who hasn't like seen it before. This feels like if you describe Dandadan, this is exactly what it is, if that makes sense.
I mean, this episode just kind of encapsulates like everything I love about it because it's just absolutely batshit insane.
It balls to the wall, batshit insane. Every moment you're just like, what the fuck are they gonna do next? Oh, that's what they're gonna do next. Okay, how do they solve this problem? I mean, that's one way to solve it.
Yeah,
go ahead, Austin.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's like you have like, you know, the absolute bonkers action. You have like really funny like gags going on throughout the entire episodes. You have like, you know, really good interactions between the three of them, and then you have, you know, the good old like etchy resolution of, oh shit, we're naked in the middle of school. Let's go. It's everything about it. It's just like compressing all of the different parts about like Dandadan from the first like 8 episodes, and then like, okay, this is how we're resolving it, rather than like the last arc being like, oh, this is a very like calm, like, you know, very serene and emotional like resolution, and this is just like, we're back to the gags.
We're swinging.
I watched this episode in the break room at work on my lunch.
Oh no!
Oh, wait,
I-
you didn't hear,
I-
hear about Dandadan episode 9? You didn't hear about it?
No, I knew, because I also have
Okay.
seen the manga panel for the end of the episode. This was the other thing I was waiting to see. Of like the once we get this, I will technically be completely blind to Dandadan is because I've seen the bathroom manga panel. No, this episode is visually really fucking cool and stellar. A lot of the visual stuff they do here is insane. I really like the fight scenes of the two of them together, even while like Momo's in the back of like it feeling like they're dancing and fighting. It works really well. This would probably be number 1 this week. If one, we'll talk about Orb. I'll give my thoughts on Orb when we talk about it. But also, yeah, they are naked and half naked throughout the entirety of the episode. So yeah,
it's fine.
no, like exactly right. It's fine. Would I also have rather them not be? Yeah. Especially because the logic for the girls is water resistance. Tear those clothes off. It's like sure, Shonen Jump manga. I believe you.
Thanks, Momo.
That's why we needed to do this.
Totally.
I will give it credit. There aren't. I don't think any shots are particularly abrasive or bad. Because I just think Dandadan does a really good job of. This is the situation you are in. It is weird. It is awkward. It is uncomfortable. That's it. Deal with it. There wasn't anything for me where I was like, yeah, okay, calm down, show. I didn't need that shot for that long. You could argue maybe Ogurun, like, wandering around naked trying to find clothes and yada yada, but, like, I'm not too upset about this part of the episode. I will stand by the fact that I think it is really silly to do the resolution to last week's conflict of them not talking in the middle of this fight with a mantis shrimp. It is really silly that he decides, yeah, go ahead, yell it out for a little bit. Because this moment's really great. The character interactions are wonderful. I like a lot about what Okarun has to say, to Momo in particular. I think his point of, if this bothers you so much, admit it bothers you, and let me explain. Both incredibly great points to make that the scene hits home really well. She's really going to do it in the middle of a fucking fight. But like it works like it thematically. It works with tension. It works with build up. It works for the scene. I get it. It's just that like again, this is me being like, things are a little wacky here in Dandadan, and it's like, well, yeah, that the sentence
Dandadan
explains
is doing
itself,
Dandadan
huh?
things.
Yeah. So like I can't like again, that's why it's 2 for me. I can't be very upset with it. Yeah, good week for Dandadan, as always.
Yeah.
The show's great.
The show's just a lot of fun. Once again, Science started kicking ass the entire time, just making every scene look fucking incredible.
Oh my god, that's so good.
Just a lot of like really neat like bits of camera work in this as well.
Yeah.
It's just so well thought through, and it's a great time to watch.
Yeah, the fact that this entire thing takes place in what is essentially a giant pool with air pockets that are the shape of classrooms, and you're able to physically like keep track in 3D space pretty well of where everything is fucking insane. This is the most stupid way to set up a thing ever, because it makes no sense. But you can follow like, okay, this person went there, this person's there, and they're here. It all works. But yeah, also, as Shaw mentioned, why are they naked for half the what? Like Okaruna at least like, oh, the aliens take his clothes off.
He has a reason.
That's only half a reason.
It's like
There is
80% of a
zero reason the girls take their clothes off. It's
What?
It was just one of those things. I was like, I
It's
don't know.
ergonomic, guys.
Yep.
Come on.
Yep.
She says it, and there's like a second of argument from Ira, and they're like, screw it, fuck it, let's go. And I think it's very funny.
She's like, fucking do it, or I'm leaving you.
Yeah. But yeah, good episode. Like everything outside of that was phenomenal. Yeah, the way the art style immediately shifts back when they are back in the real world, like seeing the colors shift back
Yeah.
from being the green to like the full colors, and and also like the physical shape of them changing to be the more rough. Oh shit. The comedy style is really fun.
The,
The way
no-
Ira just appears next to them as they're running down the
Yes.
hall.
the nonsense, by the way,
Also
that this
streaming.
mantis shrimp says throughout this episode.
Yes.
A Japanese businessman.
Japanese a businessman.
It's like the
It's-
salary raise uppercut or something.
It's so funny to me too that I watched this dubbed. He still spouts it all in Japanese anyways through the dub,
Good.
and it's wonderful.
Very good.
As he should.
You know, there's a section in the dub where they just didn't translate like an entire minute of Japanese. I was like, based.
Yes,
I
it
don't know what
was
he's
so
saying, but
based.
based.
You're like, yes,
I'm not
please.
putting on subtitles. I don't want subtitles on. I
It
think it's funny if
doesn't-
I don't know what he's saying.
It doesn't put it on even with the subtitles.
Oh, that's
It's-
even better.
It's so funny. It'll like put like the random English words in, I think, and that was it.
That's,
got
that's
Japanese.
so
really good.
funny.
We love
You
us
got
some
Japanese businessman, and that was it.
Now, I mean, for what it's worth, we don't know the nonsense he's saying. He says words that I don't know what the fuck they mean. In the Japanese version. Who's to
Yep.
say? Okay, well then, with
Done it
that,
on good.
with that in mind, it's Blue Box time.
Yeah, so where we left off last episode, Taiki failed to make nationals, but Shinatsu did. And naturally it's out of the frying pan and into the fire because Taiki's got finals. And everyone's got finals, not just Taiki. But Taiki has finals, and Taiki's been a little bit like stressing and sweating over it. And Hina and Kyo go off to practice. Hina also buried in a textbook because her grades are
Sus.
a little sussy. She's a little worried about her English vocab. And Hina's talking to Kyo, and she's like, "Oh, I thought that he'd be a little bit more down in the dumps about it." And then the badminton team are all putting up their goals and resolutions, you know, kind of fitting for the incoming new year next week. And you know, Haru puts his up, and it's like, oh, winning the inter high, you know, he's shooting
If
high
possible.
if possible. And Taiki's like thinking really hard about like what he wants his to be, and he just keeps it very very simple with oh, I want to make sure my smashes hit. I wanna you know make it so that I want to correct what went you know was very noticeably wrong in the prefectural tournaments. And then he goes back home and studies, and he starts feeling like a little bit unwell, and he plows through his finals, finishes it off, and like skips meals with the rest of the badminton team so he can go home, where he's starting to feel really really not good. So he collapses into bed. Shinatsu like pops in to like check on him and feels his forehead, you know, the whole, and finds out that he's like burning up. So she makes him like a little nice home cooked like udon meal. Puts him to bed, saying no, you don't be up and about. I know you're very hyperactive, but you need rest right now. Puts the little like cooling pad on his forehead. And they have a discussion where Taiki kind of talks about like he feels like he bit off more than he can chew shooting for the inter high, and wondering if his goals were if his like initial goals were like too high and he was trying to shoot for too much. And Shinatsu was like, I'm happy that like, you know, I'm not the only thing along the lines of like, I'm happy I'm not the only one that feels that way. You don't really like show it, but I also have those thoughts. I've also had those thoughts too. And you know, someone who someone who pushes through in spite of that is like the kind of person that I like rooting for. And she goes to put like stuff away, and Taiki, being the little boy in love that he is, tries to get up and like do it for her despite being sick, and then they trip and stumble, and Chinatsu's like on top of him on the bed, and they're just like having a little like shocked moment there, and that's where the episode ends.
So okay. So yeah, the end of this episode is so well shot. Because I finished this episode and I went, what the fuck was that? What was she doing for the last 10 seconds of this episode? Just hovering over him. Because when I went to go get the screenshot, I know what this is now. I know what the swerve is. I'm glad I caught it. I would not have caught it on my first watch. I know what we're going to do. This is very good misdirection. Missy, you want to talk about it? Because I know.
So I was just going to mention.
what you're
So,
thinking.
No, I'll wait.
So-
No, I'll wait until we talk about it first.
We'll find out
so
next
I was just
week.
going to mention that it doesn't quite end with her just being on top of him. She, like, they're kind of staring at each other for a moment, and she reaches to put her hand on his face, like, kind of caress it a bit. And that's where we end it, which is a very interesting thing to leave off on.
You can't quite see it in the screenshot I grabbed for this week. If you go back, I don't want to. Do you want me to ruin it? You want me to tell you what it is, or do you want to just wait?
No, we wait.
Okay.
For the people who haven't read it.
I haven't
we
read it, but
wait.
like I said, I picked up on it because I visually saw it because it's so well done.
Sean, can you message me?
Yeah.
I'm confused what I'm looking at.
Do you just want to know, John? Because
So I'm
Mike,
supposed to be looking at something
they've
in
read
the
it.
scene?
So if you and Mason want to know what it, no, I posted the photo just because I wanted to see by posting it if I could see it in it, and you can't. It's like the next two shots after. The ice pack is peeling off his head on the side, on the far side. So like it's
Oh,
on
yeah.
his, it would be on his left hand side. The ice pack is peeled back. So she's going to flatten it back out, is what it is, and you can see it in like just a little bit of the last couple of shots. This is so well done for the tension of the end of the episode. It's very good. That's what I assume it is. Austin and Michael don't have to talk about it.
But when she gets in there and gives him a big old smooch.
Hey,
it'll
it
be
could
fine.
happen. It could be. Hey, weird, fucking wild shit could happen.
This would have been 2.5 years ago at least.
Michael's
that
like,
read
I
this.
don't fucking remember.
I remember
Bro, she's trippy and
vague
go, "Ooh,
vague
ew."
things
We're
that
like-
happened.
This is like what?
I could tell you what doesn't
mid-30s,
happen
mid-20s?
next. At the pretty wide range things that won't happen next.
Fuck.
Don't
She does
ruin
not
my
kill him
fantasy.
next. He does not die.
Really, that's crazy.
Aw.
This isn't JJK.
He gets isekai'd. Surprise, genre switch.
He actually just
We're
dies. Like,
actually-
he actually just straight up dies.
He gets
guys.
isekai'd in. Yeah, he gets isekai'd in the Space Jam.
Blue Box is actually just the paracle to Eminence and Shadow.
Ooh.
I wish, bro.
Couple of things I really want to talk about from this week's episode. Taiki lying in bed sick and going, no, wait, fuck. Now I can't escape the bad thoughts. Here they all come. Both rules
So real.
and sucks. Yeah, very
Yup.
well done portrayal here. I think very good on Taiki for going, what are my immediate things I want to aspire for? The thing that is actually kind of out of my reach, or the thing that I legitimately very clearly know I need to work on. And then for Chinatsu to go, hey, it's good, it's okay to do both. Like, have that faraway dream, but ground yourself like you're doing. You're on the right track. Like this, as if you were a coach, I imagine you would see Taiki's thing and you'd be like, yeah, it's really good. And then when he comes back the next day and goes, and go for the inner high, and he adds it, perfect. Exactly what you want.
Yeah.
I thought this episode was great. I love their dynamic and how they like they don't just like comfort each other like, oh, it's fine. It's like actually like, hey, it's good to have those thoughts. It's good to be constructive, but also like stop beating yourself up about it a little bit because like and I think my favorite part of this was when Hina shows concern and his bro just goes like, isn't that how he always is? Always pushing forward, like always focused on the next thing. Like doesn't really sit and dwell on it. He'll be fine, basically, right? It's like he's gonna move on from this. He's gonna keep pushing himself because that's just how Taiki is. I think that's just awesome for like the character to be like, no, he'll get it. He'll get through. I also love Haruyu scene, like I said, where he just like he puts on if that's possible to win nationals this year, just like in parentheses, where it's like even someone who like Haruyu, who's like the peak of this school, has a lot of doubts on his own self, right? Or he's not like supremely confident all the time, always. He's like, well, you know, if I can win, that'd be great. But like,
Well,
let's be realistic here.
it helps that he's also lost every single game he's ever played against this man.
Yeah.
You kind of do become a little bit of a realist when
But
reality
listen,
doesn't let you budge.
just win, Five Head.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Real.
Just
True.
focus on your smashes, dumbass.
I also think it is super, super neat to see how uncomfortable it is for Taiki to live with Chinatsu right now and for him not to have made it to the inner high and for her too. That dynamic is like, you would not know what this, like, who knows what this feels like unless you've been through it. You don't, right? Like, this is a really odd situation. The show
No, I
portrays
totally
it
know what
really
he's
well.
Going through where
Yeah.
like your crush is living at your house and you just failed at
You have
thing
the
that you're trying
same
to
dream.
succeed at, so you could ask your crush out, but she's also at your house every day. Totally, yeah, I've been there.
I also don't know. I don't know if we got to see it in previous episodes. I love the fact that he has a fucking shuttlecock on his door and she has a basketball. That's
Mhm.
He
that's
also has one on
adorable
his
as
backpack.
shit.
Did you notice that?
Yeah, that's adorable as shit though.
His mom's the goat though, man. Always just like
Best mom.
she's like future daughter-in-law. I mean, friend's daughter, who's definitely just staying here platonically.
Well, she is. Let's be clear. She is staying here platonically right now. There's not a.
But
As of right now, there is nothing in the show to indicate that her choice to live here was because she had ulterior
No.
motives with Daiki.
But like, I'm just saying, like they did see each other at the gym a lot before school.
Ah, yes, of course. That's totally a reason to move into a stranger's
I'm
house.
just saying. But no, I get it. But
I can't believe that John knows the newest that the arc that Michael was talking about is where Chinatsu reveals that she secretly always planned to move in with Taiki to win him over.
this has been
So,
her master
this is-
plan. All
This is where we
along.
find out that Chinatsu actually set in motion all of the events of this and like set out a like travel brochure for her parents and like
Cute elf theme.
This is where we
Left-
find out that Shinatsu is actually aiming for Taiki's mom.
true.
Based.
Taiki's mom has got it
Do we-
going on.
Have we seen Taiki's dad?
No. No, we've not.
Has he been mentioned? I feel like maybe.
I think they said that he's like out on business.
Of course.
I
He-
believe it's been mentioned.
My
hate
brain's
that
like,
they
was
brought
there
up
a scene
business.
where he came home and they were both there once talking to her, and I
thought
don't
it was
remember.
Like a dad or a grandpa or something that was a shot at some point.
I
But
It doesn't really matter. Michael, thoughts on Blue Box?
Making Blue Box great. I like. Yeah, no, it's a lot of retreading stuff you guys already mentioned. But yeah, the shot of him being stuck with his own thoughts, the way they do that whole thing, it's so good. Oh my goodness. God, the track that plays when they like start to practice, that like one like, I don't know what I think it's just an acoustic guitar. I don't know what the one track that plays like the moment they get out of studying the first time, and they're just like going to practice. I'm like, what a good track. God, it's a good. I love this show. Love the story. Love the show. It's a good time. Great time.
big true. Give more. Thank you. I want to read. Hurry up.
No. So this
I
is
can't wait
the
for them to
week-
get to this.
So this is the week that we vote out Blue Box, so all of us can go read it.
I would
No.
cry.
No, we wait-
If
we
I
wait-
had my
no,
show and
we-
I would cry.
We wait till next week when we snub it from top 3.
Oh my
That'd be
god.
I am going
funny
to
if
shoot
that
myself.
happened.
That'd be
I'm going to shoot
honestly
myself.
based.
We
And then
all-
me
we
and
all
Austin can debate which was a bigger robbery, Horimiya or Blue Box.
Well, Blue Box if you didn't let it in top 3.
And
I know what I
then it would
said.
be which was the bigger robbery, Blue Box or To Your Eternity?
Hey, Michael, old guy's mixer.
All Guys Mixer. They're not all guys this week, and they're not at a mixer.
Or are they?
I mean, I clearly saw a cocktail there.
Hagi has some problems with that.
Yeah, Hagi, this episode is something.
Hockey.
Yes, so this episode focuses mainly on like Hagi.
Yep.
Thank
So
you,
like
Michael.
the first major bit is Hagi and so Asagi has his little punch card that he's been getting filled out. Which I don't remember if I don't know if we learned about these punch cards before.
don't
I feel like
think
we
so.
might have, but
I don't
No.
remember it if we did.
I don't
I'll
remember
put
them
it later
at
that
all.
Hagi never got one. Like yeah, they get punch cards every time they go, and after they get 10 punches, they like can get cute couples pictures with one of their favorite staff members. So Asagi goes in, he gets pictures of Fuji as this is happening. Hagi goes, "Hey, whoa, hold up, that's a little like too close to
Intimate.
being a couple." And like Asagi goes, "And?"
Bro, what are you on? I literally live with her.
I love this interaction. I love the interaction. The screenshot is, "You're being
weird?
weird."
No.
Are we weird? No.
The only person weird is Hagi, who's screaming right now. Who would do that?
Wild.
Suo yells at him.
Yes, Suo gets mad at him. Oh, yeah, okay. This is the end of the yes. So hey, stop yelling. There are people here, and he goes, "My bad." There's a funny scene before this where he like asks for a punch card by like praying on the ground, and they're like, "We didn't give you one." My bad.
Have a punch
Throws him a
card
punch card.
again.
So, like, to be fair to them, by the way, this right here of him praying for this punch card is the second time he's been in this bar. So, like,
God, maybe not the second time, but like yeah, he definitely comes significantly less than Asagi and Tokyo.
well, because, like, the last time we saw him in the bar was the first time he was in the bar, I thought.
I think
Because
that's right.
he fought going to the bar for so long, and we only saw him go there, like, 2 episodes ago.
Because the only time I can remember him going is when he goes to test whether he's bi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think is the first time he goes, and
Which I
and
think
before
we're
the,
shot
And
at
then,
the last
and then
time
we
he
had
goes.
We'll get there.
yeah, and like we had camping, and then him going to a different bar with his sister.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
But anyways,
But he
But yeah, so
overhears.
this whole thing ends with someone ends up mentioning that it's summer festivals happening soon, and then Hagi goes, "Bet, gotta go ask Kohaku on a date," and ask Kohaku to go to the summer festival.
in the middle of the bar.
Yeah, but he does it quietly enough, but not as quiet as he probably should have.
He does it loudly
a-
and then quietly.
Yeah, because he's stupid.
yeah.
Like it's either Fuji or Suwa audibly goes, "God, I hope he wasn't loud enough for other people to hear that."
I'm glad it
Whatever.
wasn't, yeah.
But yeah, they play a little thing to go to the summer festival. And Suwa goes, "Bet, triple date time," but also like only kind of. So Suo, Fuji, Asagi, and Tokiwa all go, the 4 of them. Because they are going to keep an eye on the other 2 because they get misunderstandings a lot, which realistically Suo is completely correct. Those two get misunderstandings constantly. But it's actually just because Suo wants to hang out with Tokiwa because she's
not bad.
herself.
She's not
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
We gotta catch up.
His master is down bad.
Yes, we watched the 4 of them do some festival stuff for a little bit. The 2 of Fuji and Suo specifically show up in the drag out or in men's clothing, but they're in male yukatas. While the 2 guys are just in the hoodies and jeans or whatever, even though it's
Boring.
summer. I don't think Asagi has ever taken off this hoodie.
Except for when he was in the bathroom.
And we
Found
know
one
it's
hoodie
the-
that fits him, and you
You're right.
run that until the ground.
and we
man,
know
let
he
me tell
doesn't
you.
wear shirts under it. It's just the hoodie. He doesn't
Mhm.
own shirts. He only owns a
just wears
closet
a-
of hoodies.
He wears a really thin hoodie,
A
which you know,
singular hoodie.
based. But yeah, we see the four of them. They have a cute little time walking around. There's a scene where Fuji holds Asagi as he's going to do like the air shooting game. And she like grabs him by the waist. She goes, "Yes, I like this."
Let me do it again.
I think she literally goes like, "Oh no, I've awakened something." Basically,
The two of them, crazy.
love them.
Suo like very clearly is like she's going like super heavy on the Tokyo. That's a date. This is a date, and he goes, "No." She goes, "It's a date." That's like half of
What are
their
your
bit, the two
thoughts
of
on
them.
dates?
Then we come back to Hagi, who's waiting at the front, who is scared he got stood up. Because you know what? Fair. Last time they did have something planned, she canceled on him, but not like stood him up, but like, you know what? He's like, I don't know, but blah blah blah. And Kohaku shows up. We got finally our first time outside of the opening, Kohaku outside of men's clothing. We've done it.
And
We did it.
Hagi breaks.
Hagi's
Malfunction.
like, Hagi's like, wait, that's
He crumbles.
can't be. He's like, wait a second, that's illegal. How can she be this cute, but also like look the other way? And his brain
My
like the
cross-dressing
entire
girlfriend
thing here-
can't possibly be this cute.
and like the entire thing that stems from this is
There's
him
a
just going.
question mark after
Anytime I
girlfriend.
look at her, I think of her in men's clothing, but she's not in men's clothing. Am I like cheating on her with herself?
This
It's like how
man.
mentally his man is breaking right now. Yeah, the two of them are adorable because they both have like major sweet tooth. They just walk around, do silly things. He calls her cute like 15 times, and she goes, "Oh, this thing I'm holding," and he goes, "No."
It's based as fuck, honestly. We're
No.
with him just
Oh,
going,
yeah.
Okay,
he
but,
must
like,
mean- he must mean
yes.
this thing that I'm holding.
Like he's like
No.
staring directly at her.
Oh,
You
this
are
is
Adorable.
and it's her
Adorable.
going,
Oh yes, you could say it's very cute. Sure, that's what
yes,
I'm talking
but-
about.
Yes, also, but no.
This one. Ugh. Go ahead and finish, Michael. I'm sorry.
But yeah, no, after we get them like back at the bar after this, I think
Yes.
talking about whatever.
Everyone
And then
but
Sue
Hagi.
was just kind of.
Because they run the special event where it lets them wear the yukatas in
Oh
the bar.
it's Yukata week. And Suo once again is being the most territorial being that has ever existed.
And we get to end on a note of Fuji looking over at Suo and going, I gotta fix this. This is a problem. Tokiwa doesn't realize that Suo's down bad for him. Somehow.
God, I still love it. Like
that's what her
episode
eyes
2
say.
when episode like 2, Tokiwa goes, "So Suo, why did you invite us to the mixer?" God, I fucking wonder.
I wonder. He still
I-
wonders. He still
Toki-
doesn't get it.
God.
Tokiwa's still wondering.
I watched this with Cody this morning, and was losing it over. Oh, you're going to the festival. It's gonna be just you two. Man, I like festivals. Cut to the four of them at the festival.
Hard Suo side eye. Festivals are nice. Direct looks at camera.
It's so good. This
And
show's
then
just
they went
really
to the
funny.
festival. Okay, listen.
Hagi
part
stuff
of
just
me-
got a little bit on
part
my
of me
nerves. Some
wants
of it
to
this
dunk on-
episode.
Okay, part of me wants to dug on Hagi, but also half of at least like 80% of this isn't even Hagi being the one with the issue. It's fucking Kohaku, who's just like somehow as dense as Hagi is about it.
I don't blame Hagi for any of his self-doubt here. Like I think
Yeah.
I think him being like, "Oh, she might bail on me." Like that's actually incredibly
that
valid.
one's fine.
Um,
No.
Yeah,
And then
That's
like
pretty fair.
And then, like, I don't necessarily. I'm gonna cut him some slack. I think this is a really odd situation to be in. Because, like, think about it. He had to come to terms with the fact that he's attracted to a girl who looks like a guy and wears guy's clothing. And he, like, kind of parsed through that. And then just as he's come to terms with that fact, she appears in full almost as female looking as she possibly
With
can.
long hair,
And he's like, wait, no. I wasn't. My mental image training for this entire event has been shattered. This isn't what I want. Wait, like I get it. I can understand.
Yeah.
I do think it's. I think it is both silly but also really interesting to pose the idea of like this kind of feels like I'm cheating on her with her. Like it is an odd thing. The big thing here is obviously, perhaps the biggest problem I think with Hagi in general, is that most of his conflicts and problems can be resolved by just talking like a human being, and Hagi can't do that.
Neither can
I'm sa-
Kohaku half the time.
No,
Is the
Yeah,
problem.
Yeah.
that's also the thing is like when he tries to, Kohaku's too dense to pick up on it.
it's dumb.
You
as
know,
hell.
Sue was
Like-
completely on point, calling them two fucking dinguses who get things
I-
backwards half the time. But like,
I do think there's a
Crazy.
moment in the episode where Kohaku's like, oh, he's a little checked out and like not actually enjoying it. And the two of them resolve that by Hagi going, hey, by the way, like, he obviously is going through something weird in his headspace, but he's like, I want to say this because I need to say it. We need to hang out again. And that, like, kind of resolves most of the underlying tension and conflict, and that's really good. Like, that was a
Yeah.
good resolution for the two of them, was someone actually decided to talk about something. Crazy.
Crazy how it works.
Insane communication skills in a relationship.
I mean, I think part of it too, to remember at least, is like, while they are adults, these people are like at most 20, 21, and like,
Yeah.
I know my communication skills were not great when I was in college. Like,
Yeah, I
It-
can't expect them
it's-
all to have been college me.
I plead the fifth because I know whatever I say will be turned against me.
communications major.
We don't need to talk about our communication skills back then, do we?
Oh, bozo.
The one area I have it up on. I studied the goddamn thing. And even then.
And even
And-
then,
and
here
then
you
the
are
one-
talking
and
about
then the
anime with
one-
boys.
The one thing you learn studying it is that everybody's bad at it.
The end.
yeah.
I thought it's just another good episode of Mixer this week. Honestly, like, there's not too much to say about the show because it's been doing the same things and it does it well.
I can't help but I came to like an internal realization this week that like of all these characters, the biggest catch is definitely Asagi. This man is like maybe the most perfect individual out there. You can't
he's
not
great. I
like
love him.
you
He
win.
is.
Like
You
if you
open
got
a
star,
Asagi, you win.
dumbass.
When you open Urban Dictionary to Golden Retriever boyfriend, he's right there.
Yes.
Man
Yeah,
dog.
Fuji won the
That's
lottery
fine.
here.
Yes.
Like not like just think about it. Not only is he just like a generally good guy, he's also kind of fucking hot. Like
Yeah.
you take off the one hoodie he owns and he's fucking ripped.
You're like,
Crazy.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa! Put that weapon of mass destruction away, brother.
Stares at you blankly. No thoughts, head empty.
No thoughts and empty.
No thoughts, head empty. Going.
It's like, oh, Asagi,
I
what do you
wonder
do in
what-
your
I
off
wo-
time? We just see him just like,
Dissociate.
pumping iron, just like going hard at it.
It's like that fucking that one anime where.
He
He's just-
enters a catatonic state and waits for the next time Fuji says his name.
Bro, literally in his
That's it.
off time is probably just standing, like just running on a treadmill with anime constantly going.
You could tell
'Cause
me
that's
that
all
he.
she talks about.
You can tell
Hagi,
me
what do you
he's-
do? What do you do while she's at work? Wait till she gets home.
You could tell me he's just moved in with her at this point, and I'd believe it.
He basically
He
has.
might as well just live with her.
He's over at her house, like from what it seems like, he's at her house more often than he's at his own apartment.
And in this regard, I will say the show's done a really good job, realistically, of building these two without focusing on those two. Because like Fuji and wow,
Asagi.
but yeah, what just left my brain. Asagi and Fuji
Happens.
like haven't been the main focus of an episode in like 5 episodes, and yet,
The last time they were important was the Comic-Con.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
yet
for
their
sure. Having a focus.
dynamic has continued to build really well throughout the course of the show. Probably because no one else has. No one else has been allowed to make
Yeah.
any significant progress.
That's the thing, though, is like. Excuse me.
We
Pardon.
lost Mason, guys.
That just
He's
kind
gone.
of came out of nowhere. The thing is like I feel like Hagi and Kohaku,
They're starting,
of
yeah.
have.
They have, yeah.
but like the thing is their starting line was so much further back than the rest of them. So like they're making bigger like strides, but they're starting further. So it's like they're still making the effort. Tokiwa and Suo have gone absolutely fucking nowhere.
Tokyo-
This was interesting because it's like they're the furthest along, but they're also not. Like,
And
I would-
they started really far, and then have just plateaued immediately.
Well,
Yes.
hold on. Let's be fair.
Because they were the two that knew each other before going. They were the only two that actually knew each other.
Suo started really strong, and then Tokyo went, wait, there's a race going on here? I'm supposed to be on a track? I wasn't aware of such things.
Pokemon went, but look at those clouds.
Relationship.
Man, the sky's
Relationship.
really pretty.
Friendship?
What's going on here?
Damn, it's crazy. It's crazy that all of our friends get along together this well, Suo. Isn't it the weirdest thing?
It's really interesting, so that you
And that
keep...
sky looks really nice tonight.
It's really interesting, so that
Hello,
you
Floor.
This sky-
it's really interesting, so
Hello,
that you keep...
Floor. Is that what you said, Mason?
Yeah.
So
To
it's
Suo,
really...
it was a triple date. To Kohaku and Hagi, it was a single date, and to Tokiwa, it was a bunch of bros hanging out.
And to
Just a
Tokiwa,
bunch of
it was
guys
a
at a
cool
mixer.
day at the festival with my homies.
Sorry, a bunch of guys and one girl, because
Well, he didn't know
Kohaku's
that. He
there.
doesn't know that.
yeah.
No one gets to know that.
I want to know
Like,
how
it's just Hagi's secret.
Kohaku does her hair because that wig head's got to be legendary. Like, or whatever kind of cap she wears for work.
Or she just wears extension when she doesn't.
Could be.
We don't know. And we never
But-
will. We might not. Who knows?
Who knows?
And they just stuff it all up there and put on a wing. It works. Except
Hey,
the part where it doesn't, it just works.
Yeah. Hey, Austin. Orb.
It's time. It's time.
Orb.
Or
Orb.
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 So- Previously,
On Orb.
Yolenta, Oxy, and Bedeni talked to Count Piast about accessing their research to do, for blasphemous purposes. Just casually, and then he kicks them out, and we had this like flashback to Count Piast in his younger days. Well, surprise, surprise, we get another flashback of Count Piast when he was younger again, and getting inherited, like when his Count Piast's mentor wanted to entrust Count Piast with the research of perfecting the model, and Count Piast is like, I'm not worthy. Don't give this to me. And his mentor's like, nah, just think on it some more. And Count Piast is looking at, continuing his observations at the sky with his eagle eye, because he's got very good eyesight. And he sees something, he's like, oh, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't work. And the next day he just formally says, I do not want this. I do not want the burden of completing your work right now. To which he's shown all of the archives, actually no, he's shown the archives earlier, but and then his mentor dies, and then he steals himself, and continues working on his mentor's old work. Count Piast then gets Oxy, Yolenta, and Bedeni back in and says, I will allow you to work on this and consider your stupid theory if you have good enough eyesight, because there was one thing that I saw earlier in my life, the final phase of Venus, that doesn't make sense unless the Earth moves and we're going around the sun. By the way, coincidentally, that's happening today. And if you prove that you have the eyesight to see this, then I will entrust you with my research. So he takes them out into a little forested area, takes out a stump and said, "I carved a circle or a square onto the stump. If you at this distance, Oxy, can see, tell me which one it is, then I will entrust it to you." And then Oxy looks at it and is like, "That's neither. It's a half circle." And Calpias is like, "Damn it! All right, fine." And so they discuss a little bit about before before it becomes nighttime for the observation of Venus, where Oxy kind of shares with Yolenta some of his like doubts about like getting into heaven, and stuff. And then let's see, remember exactly what happens. And also Oxy with Bedani about like, I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just basically a pair of really good eyes, and that's all I am to you two really smart people. And so they go out, they observe the fact that Venus is indeed in its final phase, and therefore the previous model that Count Pias had spent all of his life working on is like wrong. And Count Pias just like bows his head, like starts to hand Bedeni over the key to the archives, and doesn't let go. He's just sobbing. He's like, "All these years, do you know how many years are in this this archive makes up?" And then they basically part ways with Yolenta because they feel that she shouldn't be involved any further, so they start taking some of the documents back into the village so they can like pore over them themselves. And then Count Pias writes something in writes a paper and falls over and dies.
Mm-hmm.
That is how the episode ends.
I think the biggest
The episode
thing
is like really the episode is really, really good.
Yeah.
Like
And Oxy gets to like play an important part of the episode. His little
Oxy actually
fucking-
does something. He's
Oh
not
my
here
God,
just to
his
be, just ask
monologue?
questions.
Or
His
not, it's not a
monologue-
monologue because there's other people there, but like
Dude,
or
the
whatever.
OST.
It's really just him talking.
The
Oh,
OST is
OST for it.
incredible. Also the bit of him asking Yolenta about reading was so fucking
Oh,
good.
So
dude.
good. I did forget to mention that, but
Yeah.
it's
Oxy
a
can't
jam-packed
read.
episode. It's dense.
yeah, Oxy, who can't read, asks Yolenta like, what is it like to read? And Yolenta
such a good line.
says it's basically like a miracle. It's incredible. Also, don't tell the church I said that because it might sound like a little
It's not-
blasphemous, but
it
it's
sounds a little
beautiful.
blasphemous, but it's literally just a miracle, basically, is what it says. And it's like-
And the monologue that they and conversation that they have together is written so well.
God.
Yeah,
When Oxy hits you with the I didn't want to be in a position to change the world,
Mm-hmm.
but right now I want to see the final phase of Venus. I was like, oh,
Also,
man.
he listens to this guy and it's like it looks different today for some reason. Like even though it's the same sky I've always looked at, it feels so different now.
God.
The fact that like the logic behind it makes perfect sense too, because yeah, if in theory if you see Venus's full backside, I mean it's fully illuminated
Mhm.
to the Earth. But the only way you could do that is if it was like in front of the Earth and in front of the sun, which doesn't make sense because if it was the same thing, it would be partially obstructed because the Earth itself would be blocking part of that view because everything should be rotating around the Earth.
And what's really
But, like-
nice is that Venus is a planet that we ourselves can see with just our eyesight. It's
Mhm.
not something you need like extra technology to see. You can see it in the night sky. It's also like one of our brightest planets in our solar system.
Yep.
So
Very
it makes
hot.
sense.
That's all my.
It
Pretty
turns backwards.
Oh, rotates the other way.
Yeah, it rotates counterclockwise, I believe.
Yes.
God, it's just the OST I cannot express the OST from the point where Ozzy starts to talk about like everything. Just throughout the rest of this episode is just fucking incredible the whole way through. I like that there's a point where Ozzy's like, but Denny, level with me. What? I could see it and tell him I see it, and he could go no. And then he goes, yeah, but I'll know that you're telling the truth when you say it, and that's all I want. And he goes, I don't like that.
I love the fact too that that's actively what happens.
What's
Is he
but it's also the fact that we all know, and even Count Piast knows, that the reaction he has is a goddamn real reaction in the moment, and you can't fake it. And that's why Piast knows,
Mhm.
in the end, that he's telling the truth. Because realistically, it works both ways, right? If Piast's eyes aren't good enough to see it himself, Ozzy could just lie. But you can't necessarily sell that lie, right?
Unless you've
Like,
seen it yourself.
unless you, yeah, right? Like Count Piast can probably read through him if he was lying, but he's
Yeah.
not, and that's what really makes it.
That's what's really scary is the fact that it's the
Yeah.
truth, and the truth in this case is world damning truth.
I-
right?
Yeah, I really, it's so obvious in the flashback when his mentor is lying on his deathbed and goes, in the afterlife, I want to hear the truth. That even he knew as he was dying, because
his
like
theory
he
was wrong.
said, like he said, you run into so many errors, and all those errors just won't keep going away. No matter how many times you find a solution, something else will pop up because you're wrong.
I mean, he also had a different theory too, right? Because he had a theory that the planets were rotating in a different way as well.
It was still a geocentric model. And
Yeah.
the
It was-
the
yeah.
idea is that it is still the one Piast is using, or trying to research, I believe, to some degree. He might have tweaked it a little since, but like the idea is that this is still the exact same work. Cho, don't think I didn't notice. I saw that notebook fall.
Yeah, that's
Yo.
gonna be Chekhov's fucking notebook.
I wonder if
Because
I wonder if
that notebook's him talking about the
Yeah.
the stuff.
a strange man's gonna pick that up.
A man with a
I
daughter.
wonder if it's a man in a
who was
white
visiting,
uniform
With
who's
a-
going to
this
become
sh-
important.
Oh, true, that
place.
too.
The show's incredible.
And, like,
so
the-
good.
I really hope her interaction in here doesn't end because I feel like we
I don't think
barely
so.
know much about
think
Jolenta.
so.
I think she might take a
But-
backseat for a tiny bit, but I imagine there will be times where they'll come back to her for stuff. Or that she will.
Oh,
We lost him.
His internet's shitting
oh,
itself.
it's internet internet
Mm.
is forgetting to go to the bath.
Wow, Mason, it wasn't you.
Yeah.
It happens to
Holy
the best
shit.
of us.
Again, I say I have Ethernet now, and my modem is right there. Oh, hold on.
Well, I'm aware. It
There.
doesn't mean I trust it.
There.
what I will say, in addition to it, I think the concept of a theme.
Well,
I think a concept of a theme being
Christmas sound effects are getting me every
somebody
time.
who's spent their entire life's work on something, having to come to terms with the fact that they were wrong, is
It's rough, buddy.
is right. Yeah, like I don't blame them. Is all.
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry. You spent literally years of your life, that much longer years than some people live, because you're a scholar, so you get that extra little bonus lifespan. And somebody goes, "Yeah, you might be wrong, dude,"
Well,
because
okay,
they saw
say.
one thing differently than you. That's terrifying. That's fucked up.
I do enjoy that his line as well about even with me being wrong, I will still have contributed
Yeah.
to this research and to history. Because at the end of the day, he's right.
And
Like,
it pairs really well with what Yolenta talks about being able to read and write, about being able to have conversation with people in the past.
in history.
Yeah, it's it's all so good. It all comes together so well.
And you keep in mind too, Bedeni is in generally a decent amount older than Oxy even is, and so there's a chance that this research does not finish, and Oxy has a choice of getting rid of it or finding someone else who can research. You know,
Mhm.
Oxy's too honest to try to like go against Bedeni's wishes
Right
on
now.
that though.
Right now.
Yeah.
For
for
sure.
now.
I mean, yeah, at least for now. Like from what we know, Oxy's not the kind of person who would go back on something like that.
But
What's
at the same time,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
something that can be learned or solved over, right? So
what's really dangerous in the back of my head is like, okay, so Piastas handed over all this research now to Bedeni. How much of that is he also going to consider part of his? And that, like, if he gets caught, he's like, okay, Scorchwork, Earth, everything. I'm like, uh-oh.
Bedeni really is like the biggest joker in all this, right? Of like, you don't really know what he's going to do if and when shit hits the fan, right? Is he gonna cover for Oxy? Is he gonna throw him under the bus first? We don't really know.
I think it is good that Bedeni doesn't know everything we know about Oxy. I think it's very, very good that he does not know the exact
Capable he is.
altercation that had happened before he ran into him. Or else
Yeah.
that would be a very big chip in Bedeni's favor. That would really like upset the little bit of a balance they have in their dynamic.
hmm
Actually,
I agree.
this week's episode is
So good.
fucking incredible. I love this week.
Keep it up, show. Keep it up. Give me more of this good shit.
And this episode finally giving me like Oxy stuff. I was like, yeah, this is like easy #1 for me.
That's fair.
Yeah,
You know,
this
my
is
boys on screen.
this
Let's
is
go.
this is like the
He's actually
highest.
like doing something and sitting there in the back, just like,
Thi-
yes.
This to me brought back a lot of the same energy episode 3 did, of like the you're really in the stride of like what these characters are doing, their motivations, why they're here, like what moves them, like the big, like also, and then also conversation about like the like bigger themes and pictures that are going on. Like this episode fucking ruled.
I'm gonna be real. It was kind of a toss up for me between this or Blue Box being #1 this week, and it was just I watched Blue Box slightly. I watched them basically at the same time. I think I watched Blue Box a little bit earlier and just had a certain feeling about the end scene. I think for me, but they're both very close. This show's so good.
Blue Box Master Race.
Whoa, calm down there, Poland.
Cold.
Bad timing.
Hold on.
Hey guys, let's talk about an elephant in the room. A fish-sized elephant. It's negative positive angler. And this week, they eat hot pot. Okay, guys, what were your thoughts on the episode?
No, what
So-
do you mean?
so-
Machida gets drunk and
So
Takagi
yeah,
gets
let's
drunk.
let's
God,
run.
He also,
They fuck over Hero for
so,
like half the episode.
You're right. He sits there and works the store while they all fuck off and eat
Yes.
hot
So
pot.
let's talk about it. So the typhoon that Machida warns makes small talk about his son last week, with his son in last week's episode, does actually come and slam into them. And for some reason, he decides he wants to make everybody work in a typhoon because he's an asshole. And then on top of it, they only make Hero work because they're assholes.
Well, yeah, they don't need a second person. No one's in the store.
Yeah, Takagi still has a shift.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
manning the phone.
This is
And the alcohol.
yeah, and the alcohol. So this is just an episode. Everybody kind of just talks. They just kind of make conversation. There's a bit at the start of the episode where Hana gets ready to go out fishing in a typhoon, and Takagi goes, "What the fuck do you think you're doing?" And she tries to make excuses around it, and then tries to walk out of the store, and he goes, "No, you're gonna die." And then she walks out, and then she just buys some stuff and walks up to Hero, and she's like, "Hey, you're supposed to be working, not what the fuck are you doing?" And meanwhile he's fucking Boy Scout knotting fishing line, because he's working on the FG knot, which we'll talk about in a little bit because it is the only thing that actually comes out of this episode, and she's like, "Hey, I see you're really getting into fishing. Don't do something stupid like go out in a typhoon to fish. I know you want to do that, you fucking idiot." Yeah. And then she comes back and goes, "Takagi, guess what? I just told Hiro that he shouldn't go fishing in a typhoon because he really wants to." And Takagi looks at her like, "Bitch, what?"
I think even he, when she's leaving, just goes, "What kind of an idiot would do that?"
Yeah.
And she like.
There's a small, really tiny bit where Takagi comes into work. He goes, "Why are you all still here?" And they're like, "Well, Machida said that the rain was gonna lighten up a little bit," and he said, "Stick around." Meanwhile, typhoon is ongoing, and the news report goes, "It's not gonna let up for hours." And Machida goes, "Oh, crazy, wild. Who could have seen that
sucks.
coming?"
Anyways,
Machida totally just didn't want to be alone when the typhoon hit.
He wasn't gonna be alone. Hana lives there. But yeah, everybody starts to get hungry. And they have shit for food, and they only have beer to drink. And so Takagi starts drinking. For some reason,
At some point,
he does take a phone
At
call, and I'm
noon?
not sure if it's actually the store phone or his phone he takes.
I don't know.
So I don't know
A
because
phone
he
call.
starts drinking after that phone call, so I don't know if there is gonna be something about that or not. Who knows? We won't find out on this podcast probably. And everyone's like, "Hey, we should try to look into making more food." Meanwhile, everyone's like, "We probably should just close down the store." And Mashida's like, "No, what if someone comes in during the typhoon? They need our service. We are fucking vital workers in this typhoon."
We are Waffle House. We do not close for anybody.
And who stumbles in besides the debt collectors? To which
because reasons.
the two guys stumble in, and well, they want towels to dry off with. And the craziest thing is the show decides that we clearly have forgotten who these characters are, and flashback B-reels us them as if they weren't key to the first 4 episodes of the show. And then the boss of the debt collector stumbles in and passes the fuck out. And they bring them back. They warm them up. They give them dry clothes, and they go, "You hungry?" And they go, "No, that would be imposing." And they go, "But you're hungry." And they go, "Well, shit. Just like how convenient it was that you could see Venus in the orb, we got all the shit to make a hot pot right here."
It was legitimately fucking hilarious.
We should make a
See them
hot
pull out
pot.
some
And it started with
anglerfish.
the hot
I just
pot.
happen to have
And then-
scallions with me, and I just happen to have
Green-
that
Literally,
cabbage.
what can you go on? We should have all this.
We got mushrooms, we got
It's
onions,
perfect for a hot pot.
It's
I just have the
so
anglerfish is
funny.
collateral.
and then we have
And this
perhaps the
perfect
s-
fish.
And then we have perhaps the scariest scene of any show we've had this whole season, which is the fucking skinning and gutting of an anglerfish. Oh my fucking god, what did I just watch? This scene is disgusting. I love
It's
it.
just fish, bro.
It-
That's fish
there is
brain.
some-
Wait, what are you talking about?
There is something about the way the anglerfish skin and flesh moves that I am not a
Listen,
fan
we
of.
watched Moe fishing with trauma dumping, and they skin fish in that show too.
It didn't look like this anglerfish. There's just something about this that is just particularly.
Not a fan.
No, not a fan. Also watched this on my lunch break at work.
Oh,
Um,
God.
Yeah, it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
While eating? Okay, yeah.
Thankfully, I wasn't actively eating, but I was like, ooh.
Coward.
Sean's lunch break, you just hear "Dasuke kudasai," and then
I had headphones in, don't worry. What is nice of them at least is that when the debt collectors passed the fuck out, they went, "Hero, you could come back now. Like, we could just put a sign at the counter that says, if you need somebody, yell for us." Which they could have done this whole fucking time. To which Hero goes, "Wait, have you guys been getting drunk and having fun back here without me?" And they go, "No."
we say
Not
no,
all of
you'd
them
be
were getting
mad.
drunk.
Yeah, only 2 of them were getting drunk. We get a bit where Ice dresses up the head debt collector as Tanya, based.
Based.
Interesting cosplay just have
Okay.
on hand. By
So,
the way.
can we also
The-
quick talk
the
about
Well,
ice
she
fish?
said-
yeah, the ice
I
fish.
did say
It's
something about like
deflating.
her shoot, right?
So, fun thing, side note.
I think
Mhm.
she did.
Cody and I have been watching Power Rangers Turbo. And in Power Rangers Turbo, Blue Ranger is a 12-year-old. And what happens when they morph is that they make him the same size as all of the other Power Rangers. So they kind of inflate him a bit. And that's all I can think of with Ice is just...
Yeah, she does deflate over the episode as you get further and further away from her shoot being real.
I I had to show it to Cody because I was just like, I can't explain this in a way that makes sense. It just happens.
You know, we should catch Amber just dance.
Yeah. And then the actual fish of the episode comes in. Hero's been working on this FG knot. This FG knot involves tying two lines together so that you have a stronger line, because the concept is that apart we are weak, together we are strong. Become one in fish. And then they
In
talk.
fish we trust.
And they talk to Hero about the idea of, wow, you're really getting into fishing. This is like the first step to really get into like going past. Like, this is a block for beginners. Is once you learn how to do the FG knot, you're not quite a beginner anymore. And Hero talks about like, because they ask him, is fishing fun for you? And his answer is still not yes. But his answer is, fishing has given me things that are interesting and gives me a new outlook that I didn't have on life, and that's enjoyable, I think. And that whole bit is nice. This is a crazy episode to have at episode 9.
Yeah.
This is glacial pacing character development moment in episode 9. 100%. Like, you can't, I find it hard to fight. This is still a good, fun episode.
Yeah.
And
Like, did I
is-
have a good time? Yes. Did anything happen? No.
By the episode titles coming up, they're absolutely just hard diving in the next 3 episodes to the actual like meat of Hero situation. But like, should have pulled that a little sooner, guys.
They could have started that like last episode,
And this episode's it would be a really interesting place to do it. You have a bunch of characters just sitting around. Like, any of the characters
Talk
could
about your situation.
or any of them could just be talking about Hero, wondering things about him, and Takagi could give a little bit of information about what he kind of knows about it. But they just don't. They just kind of fuck around the whole episode.
It's so weird that we actively segregate our main character from the entire rest of the cast in this show that is about our main character's problem and how he feels better about it by interacting with the rest of this cast.
But it also does make sense because he wouldn't go out of his way, right? Like,
Yeah.
realistically, he would have just stayed back there the whole time working, unless someone was like, "Yo, you get over here," because that is just the way he is. It is maybe not the best theme to have the deck collector go, "Hey, Hero, you like fishing now. You seem like you've grown a little bit as a person." They don't say this, but I have to assume that's what they're thinking, because they look Hero dead in the eye and go, "Hero, if you're ever in trouble and need money, come to us." What the fuck do you mean?
What does that
He
mean?
still owes you money. What do you mean? What? I understand the idea here is that, like, oh, he's talking. He seems like a little more lively and passionate. He is different than how he was. We would maybe trust him a little more. You
man,
shouldn't
let's
trust
let it
him
clear
any more than
sometime.
you did before.
Mhm.
He has not proven anything. Also crazy that, like, the past 2-3 episodes have completely written out that one girl. Just hasn't been around.
Oh, Kozue?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the one who really likes Hana. It's
Hey-
like, thank God.
Remember last week where I was like, man, I hate that they really haven't progressed much with the main character and they haven't done much with the main character. And what did they do this week? Absolutely
Yeah.
ostracize the main character, like you're saying. And I'm just like, I get the show has some good messages behind it. But come on, guys. Like, give me something with the guy that the show's supposed to be about. Having trouble and stuff. And, like, growing as a character and all this other stuff. But it is what it is. In the end, still not a bad show. Still was a funny episode. Had some good moments. Like, I love what you call it, randomly deciding, yeah, I'm just gonna crack open a beer at, noon 30 here, and while I'm supposed to be on the clock.
It is also really
Okay.
funny, by the way, that Mashita comes over. It's not when he has the beer. I think he comes to the register twice. I want to say, or it's Ice. Somebody comes to the register. It might be Hana. I think it's the first time Hana comes. She's like, "Shouldn't you be working, not fishing?" And then she scans every item. You hear Hero doesn't move, and you hear all the items scanned because they are off the
it's
clock.
It's Machida. It's
It
really
is-
funny watching
yes.
Machida scan things over the counter, bro.
Yes.
I'm like, oh,
It's like, man, you own this place. You should not be doing this. There's some really subtle, funny bits in the episode, but it's not what I'm here for the show for. And especially not this late into it.
Listen, man, you're a fishing show.
Yeah, there was no
you're on
fishing
episode
this
8,
week.
do some
Actually, 0 out
fucking
of 10
fishing.
episode.
There was a fish, but there wasn't any fishing.
Yeah, there wasn't any fishing. 0 out of 10.
A fish just
Get
magically
it off.
appeared out of
They're
plot
fishing
progression.
for-
Looks
They're fishing for debt collectors, I guess.
real.
True.
Based.
That.
It was certainly an episode.
Just imagine it's like Dark Souls, and like you kill the boss and just says debt collected. But hey, what's up, bud? Wait, towel. Hey, is it only?
I'm hearing like every third word of John's conversation.
Right.
What? This
Ah.
camera does not like stick on my laptop very well, so it just keeps on like slightly moving every time I move the suitcase that my laptop is resting on. And I have to just like keep constantly readjusting.
So, guys, the results are in. 3 shows have no slays. I wonder what they could be. Tanadon,
Negative
Blue
positive
Box, and
angler.
Orb.
Yakuza fiance.
Why is it back? How did it come back?
Votes.
Haiga
wait,
Kure.
votes
And
for-
Haiga Kure. It's
And
not
no
even
slays.
it's not even off hiatus and it's back. We can't even watch it. We can't even watch this week's episode for it.
Yeah.
All Guys Mixer has 1 slay, and Negative Positive Angler has 5 slays. It is the show going this week. It be like that sometimes.
It do.
How's John?
do.
How's John gonna know what went off the podcast this week? I'll have to do it again when he gets back. He'll
No,
no
We
way.
should-
I've
we should
no
tell-
way.
we- No, no, no.
should
When,
tell him
when he
Blue
comes
Box
back,
went
we should
off.
tell him that one of the top 3 went off.
Wait, you should tell me. Tell
Tell
him
him Blue Box went off.
John, it's a wheel between Don and Negative Positive Angler.
No, he's the one who has Danzadon. I think we told him Danzadon. got
Exactly.
right now.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
wheel-
Mason, pull up.
Mason, pull up the
just for
wheel
shits
and put
giggles.
I
Don
got
and
it.
Negative Positive Angler up, please.
Are we the worst? Maybe.
I don't even know what he could have. Does he have a wireless headset? He doesn't, right?
I don't think so.
No, he
It'd be
also
really
took it
funny.
off.
It'd be really. Yeah, I think you like physically watch him take it off. It'd be really funny if he did, and he's like, "What the fuck are they talking?"
Let's go.
Oh yeah.
Okay, guys, let's all click into. Have it ready. And let me run the bit when he pops back in.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, he's taking his sweet ass time. He really thought. He's like, he's probably just gonna end the podcast once the result goes in. Joke's on him.
Let me text his fiance real quick, just like give us our guy back real quick.
You're like, I'm worried we're gonna be here an hour and a half to run a bit that'll last a minute, if even.
Why did I watch one of my friends on Steam just open up Femboy Bangers too?
What the fuck?
What?
What is that, Michael? Tell
Well,
me more.
I couldn't tell you what it is. I just saw the title.
Do I know this friend?
Cats.
No.
Okay.
This is the same friend who sped ran the My Stepmom is a blank franchise. So.
Oh my god.
John, you're still muted.
I definitely didn't
Uh,
forget to do anything laundry persistent at all. Never.
Ooh. So guys, you know the drill. The show that it lands on gets stabbed and gets
wait, it's
voted
high.
off. Make sure you're watching, John. This is important.
What? If only.
Let's go! Let's go!
Alright.
Danzadon lives. Let's go. We did.
No, it got stabbed.
You know the rules. We're fucking with
Oh,
you,
she's
John.
great.
Oh,
This is
no,
what you
I
get
know.
for walking away.
I could hear you guys laughing while I was folding laundry. I'm not blind. I'm just
God
stupid.
damn it.
We were laughing at how terrible of a situation you were in, John.
Hmm, hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
I was like, they're laughing at me folding towels, or they're up to something. Is literally what I said.
We
to
couldn't
Amber.
even see you.
No, you definitely could. You just weren't paying attention. I was like right in the
No.
corner, right there by the pillar.
No,
would
we
just
could
not
not
see
see
I
you.
could see
you.
myself on the webcam.
You were
We
just
could not
barely
see it.
off camera. If you were maybe like a fragment of you.
Here, right here.
Yeah, okay, but turn like you were folding towels. Yeah, we can't
Yeah,
see you.
we can't see you.
I don't know, man. Elbozos.
Yeah, your elbows. Oh my.
No, Luffy's.
I
legs
can't
fell off.
I can't have those elbows on screen, John.
Oh no.
Oh my god, next you're gonna show us an ankle.
Don't. I'm an extreme.
That was more of a shin. Let's be honest. Let's be clear.
Yeah, but that'll be it next week, which we'll figure out exactly when that will entail, because holidays.
Yeah.
But
Merry Christmas,
we'll find-
everybody. Have
will
a good
it be-
holiday.
Merry
may or may not-
Chrysler.
it may or may
It's
not.
already over, isn't
Hold
it?
on. It may or may not be. No, it will. There's a good chance that it won't be the new year yet, which means we will do a finale in the new year. That'll be
Yeah.
fun.
Kinda sick.
But we might be able to squeeze the next vote off in before that. Which yeah, that'll be interesting. We will decide top 3. Who could possibly? You never know what could happen.
Yeah.
It could be crazy. I'll be honest. If two characters fuck it all guys mixer, I might keep it for top 3. That might be the threshold.
If we have
That'd be
confirmed
that would be
specs
top 3
in
material
Mixer,
right there.
I think it entitles a top 3 spot. I will admit.
like.
Yeah.
I would say if we do some fucking Yakuza Fiance shots in all guys mixer, or if people are getting head,
power
it's gonna
to
be
you.
crazy, dude.
you
That
just
might.
see Asaki with like the big like round eyes.
Can you
That's
imagine
it.
like them? Can you imagine like
Camera
all
shot
guys
is
mixer
just-
having a sex scene in the fucking chibi art?
I was just. Basically, I want you to know that I was just envisioning the camera from Fuji's point of view. And it's just you see her legs up, and you just see Asagi's eyes, just his fucking circle eyes looking over.
I just imagine she's like, go strip in the other room, and you see like the shadow, and you see.
So tune in next.
God.
Tune in next podcast to find out if this happens in All Guys Mixer. As will
Yeah.
we. Who knows? Crazier